Hi everyone, and welcome to another Mighty Ginkgo tutorial. My name is Zero, and I'll be your instructor for this lesson. Now, before we begin, there's a couple things I need to say before we start the tutorial. That way we're all on the same page and you know what you're in for. The last thing I want to do is waste your time and have you sit through something that you don't need or you are like, ugh, because, I told you in the beginning. First, I apologize for this background noise. It is currently, the end of June, and it's super hot. Even at 6 o'clock, it is still hot. Although my temperature thingy at the bottom says it's 69 degrees, it is actually way hotter than that. It feels hotter. So I have the AC and the fan on, and that's what you're going to be hearing in the background. I'm sorry, I really wish I could turn it off and do this tutorial in absolute silence, but I would literally roast to death during the stream. You would hear my bones crackling on an open fire. So we don't want that. So I apologize in advance for this. But if you're one of those cool people, you can just mute it and try to follow along without any explanation. If you do that, cool. If not, again, I'm so sorry. Okay, so let's see. As you guys know, because apparently some of you don't know who are new here, I am what you would call an edutainer, which means I entertain and through education. That means that my videos are going to be way longer than they should be if you were going with somebody who is a professional who will just tell you how to do this and then that and then how to get to that. That's not me. I can't. I tried and then they still went on an hour long. So if you are one of those people who want to know how to do it, how to get there, how to get to the end product, this isn't for you. Sorry. Also, I am still technically a noob at Unreal. But I did a lot of research and made a lot of programs and put a lot of this effort into this workflow to get it going. So if you want to know how do I do this and how do I do that inside of Unreal, if it's not shown in the video, then I don't know how to do it. Please go over to one of those professionals who will tell you right from the beginning how to do this, this, and that, because I'm probably watching the same video. I will get there eventually, but right now this is as far as I go. I feel like there's something else that I need to say. Oh yeah, there is a lot of installation inside of this stuff. There's a lot of plugins, a lot of programs, and a lot of things. And it may seem like it's like, why would I even want to do this if I could just do that? Well, I don't know. It works. It seems easy to me, and some people were impressed by it during the live stream, so that's why I'm teaching it. So that, and I feel like there's one more thing I have to say. Oh yes, the blender that I will be using. Oh, I guess I'll do that during the time I talk about materials. All right. So here is the show. Okay, we'll just talk about what this is now. What you're here for. Welcome to my tutorial. This tutorial, which I think I'm going to call how to import any model and animation into Unreal through Blender No FBX. Now, if you have studied any kind of Unreal, you'll notice that it does everything through FBX, which kind of sucks because Blender doesn't natively support FBX. It kind of had to put it in there later in his life, and honestly it just never really worked for me whenever I tried to work with Blender to Unreal, which is how this process came to be. This process will bypass Unreal altogether, and in the process you will gain the ability to make stuff for 3 different environments: Second Life, VRM, and Unreal. So it may seem long, it may seem chatty, but after this you'll gain a new skill and 3 new communities that you will be able to service and use assets from. What else am I saying about this? This is going to try to cover as much as I can. I'm going to try to put in all the pitfalls that I fell through and stuff that I wish that other tutorials covered that didn't cover. So it is going to be extremely long for no reason. Definitely get some water and a snack and, a pillow for your back. If you got one of those chairs, you want to get that good back support because we're going to be here for a while. But I will try to go as fast as I can and, skip through it and give you all the stuff that you need so you don't have to hunt too hard. So, with that said, let us now begin the tutorial after a super long introduction. Actually, you know what? I'm not even sure I'm recording. Wait, am I recording? Yeah, I'm recording. Okay. Okay, so let's begin our tutorial. Here we go. Okay, the first thing you're going to need to make this work is a copy of Blender. Now, this program and this workflow requires a very specific copy of Blender. You cannot just jump in and use the latest Blender and then come complaining to me saying it's not working, because it needs this specific type of Blender. And the Blender we are using is Blender 3.00, not 3.01 or 02, 00, straight 3. Now we're using this Blender, which is older than the current version of Blender, for multiple reasons. One, I didn't want to create a workflow and then have it like, yay, this works on the latest Blender, and then as soon as I publish it, the new Blender comes out, and then they're like, hey, this don't work on the latest Blender. That's why I like to work on the old ones, where it's done, stable, it is what it is, and we can work on it. Also, the plugin that we need only works within this version of Blender. They did update the plugin, but from the message boards and discords that I heard, they said that it broke a lot of the good features that it had. So that's why this one was the recommended one to use, and that's why I'm using it, and that's why we're working with it. So you will need Blender 3.00. The link and everything else will be in the description, and you can also download the package in my Discord. Sorry, I'm getting messages. It's only when I start tutorialing is when I start getting messages from people. Crap. Okay. Also, we're gonna be sorry. I didn't mean to. I should have paused it while I was reading it, but sorry about that. So we're gonna use this Blender and something else. Oh yeah, Unreal. You're gonna need to go grab a copy of Unreal. I am currently using Unreal 2.72, and that's only because I downloaded the tutorials and the classes and the templates for this Blender. I mean, keep so used to saying Blender. For this Unreal. Now, I know 5 and stuff is the jam and everybody's using it right now, but this is all I got to work with to learn. So, you know, until them donations kick in and I can afford classes for 5, 4 is all I got. Alright, let's see. Where did I save it? I have a folder. Here you go. My tutorials for all the stuff, the folders and files and jazz that you'll need. Sorry, I stumbled there. Here we go. Let me calm down. Getting too hyped. Inside the package file, you'll find all of the files that you need in order to follow along with this tutorial. I've made sure to put them in folders so you know which one goes where, and you can easily drop them where they're supposed to go. The Blender folder shows you all of the plugins and stuff that you'll need to download in order to work with us. So it's all here. You can just install them all from the folder. Gosh, I don't even know what stuff we're going to be using. So let's just start from the beginning. Again. Okay. Sorry. Step 1. Installation. I'm going to assume you already know how to install your copy of Blender. You can download the exe, but if you have multiple copies of Blender, you can just use the zip and it won't interfere with any of your Blender settings. I do that as well, and I have like a ton of versions of Blenders that you can see down here. But that's just small. Back in the old days, I used to have a lot more. But that's how we do it. You just download the zips. So once your zips are installed, your Blender is installed, we can go into the next step, which is installing the plugins. Although they're called add-ons over here. So at the very top, let me turn on my screencast key right now so you guys can see what keys I'm pressing. Okay. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to go up to the top where it says Edit and then Preferences. Then you're going to go over to the left-hand side and you're going to select Add-ons. When the add-ons is selected, you're just going to click this button at the very top that says Install. So once you have it here, you're going to go to where you downloaded your folders and stuff at. So for me, it will be on my desktop. And I really should have named this folder better. I think it's just new folder. Okay. So you want to go to the folder that says put inside Blender. And you can select the first one, which is our Salmon Onigiri. That's a very important one. And when you do, it will pop up and let you install it. Since I already have it installed, it's not giving me the window. You just check the little box and keep on going. The next one, well, you're just going to have to install all of these. I put them in numbered order, so you know which ones to download in what order. So you would just click on these, and then it would show up here, and you would click the little button. And then once all of those are added into it, you would just simply close it. But for me, I'm old-fashioned and very scared. You can click these three buttons at the bottom, and you can push the save preference, and this will save it, even though that they're already inside there. I actually have to install something real quick because I forgot to do that. So, where is it? Bento skeleton. There. I accidentally uninstalled that during the test run. So once you have all of those saved, you will just close it, and now on your side taskbar, you will have a whole bunch of tabs. Probably not as big as many as I have now, but you will have at least, I think I put in there the Ginkgo weight tools, which would be good, the Onigiri tab, which I misspelled, the Second Life to VRM tab. I'm not sure if you guys need cats though. If you do, you can always pick that up. But definitely the VRM tab, because that's the one that lets us import, export. Hey! Sorry, my cat's scratching on stuff. Okay, so now we have all of those stuff, your tabs and your plugins installed in. We are going to move into the next part, and we're going to put in our avatar that we want to put into Unreal. So that's what we're going to start with. We're going to start with putting an avatar in, and then we're going to move on to putting the animations in, because the process is kind of sort of the same with just maybe a little bit more work. So we're going to work on our avatar. There are two types that I like to use when I'm working on Unreal stuff, and that's VRM and pretty much any random one. This is what I was talking about. You can use any random model from any game. Get! Y'all ain't coming here since the whole time. Shoot! Sorry about that. Cats scratching on stuff, furniture. Okay. So I bet you're wondering what I meant when I said you can convert any animation or model into an Unreal format and put it into a format and then put that into Unreal with ease, and no FBX is included. We're going to do a process that allows you to service your three communities that I mentioned earlier, which is Second Life, the Vroid community, VRM, virtual model reality, those people, and Unreal. And you do this by conversion. It's just a lot of conversion. We're going to take a model from anything, any rigged model. Well, let's see, how can I explain this? The process we're going to do is we're going to take a rigged model, and we are going to convert it into a Second Life skeleton, and then convert that Second Life skeleton into a VRM skeleton. And then once that VRM skeleton is converted, we're going to slap it into Unreal with the VRM plugin that we're going to install later on once we get over to Unreal. So that's the process. It sounds magical, but hey, let's try it out. Okay, so let's begin. I'm going to be using two models for this tutorial. One is going to be my VRM model, and the second one is going to be a model from Street Fighter 5. Mostly because it was the only game I had open. If I had my choice, I would probably do something else from like Final Fantasy or whatnot, but Capcom's a little more chill than Square. Alright, so first things first, we need to import our model into there. I want the animations and the models from Street Fighter 5, so that's what I'm going to work with. It is in the PSK and PSA formats respectively, so I'm going to go to File, Import, and then select my PSK. You can do any other file you want to follow along with this, but for this, I'm just using that. So I'm going to go to my folder where those are, And I don't know who this is. Character. For the sake of ease, because we had used Cammy during the live stream, we're going to use her again. Where is she? Sammy. Alright, so I got Cammy, her skeletal mesh, number 1, her mesh, and her file. Okay, so now we have Cammy. She's in here. Oh, yeah, I like this one. This is her regular one, her Delta Red outfit. Nice. Sorry, the last one I used wasn't that. So I don't really like to have the shadows like this, making it all blocky. So what I would want to do is I want to press the spacebar. Oh wait, sometimes it doesn't show up naturally like that. So I'm going to show you how you can change it, the spacebar, and make it useful. So I believe that it is either in the interface, no, not there, input, navigation, key map. There's a button down here that lets you like, hey, spacebar does this. Hang on, give me 1 second. Let me just look real quick. I changed it once and then I never touched it again. Ugh, give me 1 second. I'll be right back. Let me go look for that real quick. Okay, sorry about that. Phone call happened just as I paused. Okay, so found where it's at. You will go into preferences and then key map. And if you want to follow along with me, change your Blender settings to 2.7x because it's the bestest. That's why. And once it's there, you are to scroll on down to where it says search menu, and you want to change it to spacebar. And then once it's done, you just close it. So now when you press the spacebar, it brings up this wonderful menu so you can search how to do things in Blender. So what I would like to do, because it's just a pet peeve of mine, is to smooth out those the shading here. So see how blocky it is and you see all the faces? If you press object shade smooth, you'll see they go away and now she's smooth. Ugh, I'm sorry, I just don't like that blocky look. Alrighty kids, let's begin. So as you see, we have our model. If we click on her bones and we go into pose mode and you press R, that's fat. If you click on her bones, one of these bones. There we go. If you click on her bones and you press R to rotate, you'll see that they move. This means that the model is rigged and it is ideal for our purpose. Now you can use this model, this method for unrigged stuff, but you will have to rig it to a skeleton. And that's a whole nother thing. So we're just focusing on stuff that's already pre-rigged. That's fine. At the moment. Okie dokie. So what are we going to do with this rigged skeleton, eh? We are going to transfer it and turn it into a Second Life skeleton. So, okay. In order to do that, we need to do a few things first. We need to first put this model into a T-pose. And you can do that by digging into her bones, pressing R, and rotating the arms until it looks like a T. 3D sounds really complicated with stuff, but it's actually really simple. Okay, so I got her legs together, and we put it into a T. I like to leave gaps in between. That's just a habit of mine from Second Life because, you know, legs would get stuck together. But that's not really a thing nowadays. Okie dokie. So once she gets into her T-pose, we're going to go and open up our Onigiri tab, which is right here, Oni. And then once we have our Onigiri tab open, we are going to go down to Animations, Enable Pose Library, and then we're going to save this and just type right here in this little box that says add pose. We're just going to put T-pose. T-pose, and then we're going to add pose. Now what that did is saved us a whole bunch of time. So if we upload any other, like let's say if we want to do another Street Fighter character in here, we don't have to manually put them into the T-pose. All we have to do is just go into pose mode, open up the pose library, and then press the happy dancing pineapple, and you'll see it will instantly snap back into the T-pose, saving us precious time. So if it looks good to you, press save, go to your project folder. For me, this is my desktop. And we're just going to name this Street Fighter 5 T-Pose, so you know what it is and what it do. Okay, now that we have this in a T-pose, we need to change this into a reference pose. So inside the same animation tab, right above the one we are now, it says reference pose features. Click that and then press the little green arrow that's pointing at your model. Once it's highlighted blue, press the next button underneath it where it says create reference pose. Okay, now our reference pose is set in, and our model can start creating a skeleton based off of this pose that we're in here. The default Second Life pose is a T-pose, so that's why it was important for us to put it inside there. To get the best... Well, hang on. I'm going to change this out because the model I have, her hands are not exactly T-posing, is it? Which is this one? This one, then. There we go. That's a better T-pose. Sorry, I didn't feel like digging in there trying to straighten her arms out. TV magic. We had one done in advance. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to put it in a T-pose because the Second Life skeleton by default is in a T-pose. So when we're trying to do a retargeting, it gives the best results when it's matching that pose. So it's really important that you have it in T-pose. Actually, I think I'm going to try to fix that. No, put it back. I broke it. Oh, goodness, I broke it. T-pose. My bad. I don't even know why I checked it. Alright, I'm just going to redo my reference pose real quick. Okay, so now we have this. Let's begin the retargeting process. The first thing we need to do to retarget, well, the next thing we need to do, is we need to clean up this body a little bit. The Second Life skeleton has a lot of bones, but it doesn't have this many bones, and we don't actually need this many bones for animation or such. These are a combination of, what do they call them, bone twists or physics. So this is like rigged to her arm so that it can jiggle and such. Video games always do that, make a lot of put a lot of bones in here for no reason, but all we need is like really the main control bones that control her arm, and not twist bones as they called them in the other game I was working in. So what are we going to do with all these twist bones, huh? Well, we're going to get rid of them. Well, not technically get rid of them, but we're just going to put them out of sight by pressing the H key, which is hide. So that's a good thing to remember about Blender. A lot of the commands to do things are like usually the first letter of what they're supposed to do. Like, for example, if we wanted to rotate it, we would just press R to rotate, like R rotate. And if we had a bone that we didn't want to see, or any kind of thing we don't want to see, we want to hide it, we would press H to hide it. So, you know, keep that in mind when you're working on it and you're wondering what button to press. Okay, so I'm going to roll down her arm, and I'm just going to press H on bones that are not main control bones. This is completely optional. I just do it because it makes it easier in the process later on when you're trying to grab bones, and the last thing you want to do is just sit here clicking on the same bone trying to get to the control bone because there's a bunch of twist bones in the way. So I'm just going to keep going down the line and cleaning this up and then pressing H while I do it. So that's a twist bone, that's a twist bone, that's a two. Like, see how I thought that was a hand bone, but that was a twist bone? See, and now that's a hand bone. And you will not believe how many are actually inside that hand. We're going to do the whole thing that I just said. Actually, I don't want to because I really like this cami over the other cami. Alright, I'll just go through it. That way you can practice along with me. You know, H. Alright, for time's sake, because we still do have a lot to cover, I'm going to use some TV magic and then grab a model that we already prepared. It's not, you know, the Delta Rig cami, but it'll do. Oh wait, no, we needed that cami so I can show y'all how to put textures on. Crap. And she got bones all on her too. I should have stuck with the last cami then. Okay, damn it. Okay, give me 1 second. Let me run and do this all over again. I don't think there ever was a TV thing. Alright, let me find Cammy again, and then we're gonna grab her skeleton, pull out our onigiri, use our animations, scroll down to here, load in our desktop real quick, this one, happy pineapple, use it as a reference pose, and now we're just back to where we were before. So I'm just gonna smooth, thank you. And now we're just gonna run through her bones real quick and get rid of all those twist bones, because I swore I did this in advance. Definitely. Oh yeah, we had that big storm, so the power went out, so I guess I had it, but I didn't save it. Oh yeah, I forgot. Screencast please. There you go. I tried to put the screencast on so that it will be there every time I load up. They did not do that. Okay. Let's go through her chest. That's her hair. H. Are those boob bones? Yes. I didn't add those in the last one. What's connected to that? That's not even like boobs. Huh. That's like her collar over there. I wish I had some jazzy music for you guys to listen to. Or more or less, I wish you could hear the music I'm listening to. Okay, so if you ever want to hear some really good grooves, check out this soundtrack that somebody made using AI for Wave Race. So it's like city pop, Wave Race city pop. And it is great. I love it. It's my favorite game and favorite genre of music. It's really helped keeping me focused while I do this. Now, I'm not really going to go through her hands and stuff. I just need to clear out a good chunk of her body so I can use that for the example. And then we're going to switch in and then use all the stuff that I did in advance. Huh. Alright. Alright, there's her leg bone. Alright. Again, you guys don't have to do this. This is just something that I do to make it easier on me, because I get tired of clicking. There's her knee. Seems like I keep pressing T. Alright, I think that's good enough right now to use it. So you can see how many bones have been reduced. I feel like no, we're gonna do this because we were running out of time. I said I would show you everything, but I don't plan to keep you here forever. Okay, so now that we have our bones reduced, we're going to move on to the retargeting process. I'm going to open up the Onigiri tab again. And then, once that's open, we are going to go to the character tools, and we're going to press retarget motion. And I know we're converting the skeleton, but it's all the same window here. Okay, so next thing we need to do... Oh no, wait. We're doing a conversion of the character, not the animations right now. almost got ahead of myself there. Alright, so first thing we need to do before we do any kind of conversion is to save, because you are going to need it later on. So I'm going to save this as Cami Toot. So I know which one it is, not the good Cami. Alright, so once you got your bones and stuff all set up, we are going to... Oh, no wait, we did need to come into here because we need to create the map. So we have our character, bones reduced. We're going to create a bone map for this that will allow us to convert the mesh into the skeleton into a second life skeleton. This will also be a faster process, so you only have to do this one time if your characters share the same skeleton. And this one too for Street Fighter. Thank the stars. So once we open up our character tab, we're going to go to retarget motion, and right here where it says dist, which is just distance, we're going to enter the value of 0.70. Actually, in this case, I want to put 80. I need a little bit more space. And then we're going to press the button that says action, and a second life skeleton should pop up behind this now. So once it's popped up behind it, it's now ready to begin retargeting. You want to scroll down just a wee bit more into where it says interactive retargeted mapping and click this button. And after that, it's just a matter of selecting the bones and assigning where they go to. For example, this is her arm, and we press R, and you want to rotate it and see what bone does the same thing. So if we pick this one, we know that it's that in the back. So now when we move it, you see it has the same behavior. So this is her clavicle, so we're going to select that clavicle. This is her forearm. We're going to select that forearm. And then we dive in there into the hands. So that's her hand moving. And then we go over here behind it and we select that hand and we press this button right here that says all bones. Sorry, I forgot to say that. So once you know, the second life skeleton will turn red when that bone has been assigned to something. So that way you can double check and make sure that you have something assigned properly. So that collar, that clavicle, add bones. That arm, shoulder, arm, forearms, and then you just go down the line until you have all of the skeleton turned the color you want. Now, this part is the TV magic. I already have a skeleton, a map for this already done, so I'm just going to do this so I don't take up any more of your time. So I want to go back into object mode, and I'm going to hit revert. So let's go back to retarget motion. And now let's say you saved this already. So you have a map. I'm going to open up my map, the new one. And if we look at the if we press like action and look at the interactive map, you can see that it's already filled in. All the bones are red and everything is good. So we're done with that. Now let's go to the fun part, converting. Now that you saved, oh wait, I didn't tell you guys how to save a map. When you finish your retarget, you want to go up to the top where it says save map, and then you would just save the map to your workspace, whatever you want to name it, and then hit save map. So now you don't have to do this whole retargeting thing anymore. It's already saved, so you can just load it in and then go about your business. So once you have your saved map, you can just go up to the character creator and then press load map and then press convert. Alright, it got rid of all the bones that weren't listed and has all our stuff. So our model is still rigged, as you can see if we press her bones and do this thing. She still has all her weights, but now she is no longer a Capcom skeleton. She's now a second life skeleton. Okie doke. So now what do we do with the second life skeleton? Well, my friend, we convert it into a VRM model. But it doesn't have any textures. And that's not good, because who wants to look at a stone texture? Unless you make it some sort of game where the characters are all made out of stone, then your work's already done. But what are the odds that somebody's actually doing that? Pretty low, huh? So let me show you how to put the textures on here. First, I like to break them apart because I think that makes it easier to edit. Select. I have screencast on? Okay. So I like to break the model down into materials because that makes it easier to add the textures to it. If we were to not do that, we would have to go through all of these material slots and then try to figure out which one's which, and it's just for me a lot easier to just click on what I know is what. Like, hey, this texture goes to her body, this one goes to her gloves, stuff like that. So to do that, we just press the tab key and that will put us into edit mode. Then we press the P key and that brings up the separate menu. And then at that, we choose by material, and then it will break down into materials that are on here. See? So you can tell what has all the same textures. So her body and stuff has this, and her clothes are different. And Capcom was real smart about that. They knew what people were going to do if her crotch was able to come off. Okay, so let's add it on. First, we need to switch over to texture mode so that we can see the textures being added. And that's just down here at the bottom right-hand corner. There's a bunch of little circles, and this is the one with the little checker print on it. That is Universal Blender Talk for texture. Once we have that done, we're going to come over here to our side. Oh, sorry, I got another message. Alright, so we're going to come over here to our side. And we're going to scroll to the right hand side, and we're going to scroll down till we see this little ball with a checker print on there again. Once that's done, we're going to see that we have a material slot here, and we're going to push this button that says use nodes. Next, you see surface, and we're going to click this button right here. And I like the VRM bright textures because it just makes it look very anime. So I'm going to use the emissions, the one that says M-Tune emission. So that's what I like. Although I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be Z-right emission. Either one of those is fine. I like tune. Okay, so once M-Tune is selected, we're going to scroll down here to where it says main texture. Actually, let me just do that one. I'm pretty sure it's this emission. Only downside to that one is that I don't know how to apply normal maps with this one. So I do with emission. So let's go with emission because that's got normal map stuff. Alright, so next we say main texture. We're going to press this little yellow dot and then go here to image texture. Don't panic because she turned black. We're going to fix it. Next, you're going to go over here to the button where it says open. And you're going to go to where your character's textures are stored. In most cases, if your textures are in the same folder as it, they usually are applied. But for Street Fighter, that ain't the case. You have to manually put your textures on. So once you have them here, you can press this little button right here and this little 4 box at the top of the screen. And now switch it over to icon mode so we can see which one we're selecting. We want the color texture for this because that's her stuff. So you see her face and stuff comes on. And I want to scroll down here because like I said, I want to put on her normal map. So if you can, let's make this bigger. So you go. Normal map texture. Push the yellow box again. And we're going to change it to image texture. And just like before, we're going to press open and navigate back to where we were. So texture. And now you see here it says normal. So we're going to put that in here. And apparently that does something. It adds all the detail to her body and whatnot. Now there is something else here that I didn't try playing with. Let me see. Real quick. I don't know what any of those are for. Like those are like shading, but I don't know. I just use the normal map. Okay, so let's do the same thing for her body and her head. Use nodes. Change it over. Tune. Open. Is her hat and everything just... Yeah, it's all the same texture. So we really didn't have to break it down into that because all of it is the same texture. I think they use texture, but then they color it. And I never learned how to do that. Let me see. Just real quick. Yeah, that is how you would texture it. Let me see. How do I turn the shade, the light down here? There's like super bright. If it was the old Blender, then I would know how to do it. Diffuse, shade, color, rim. Okay, that ain't it. Sorry, real quick. I'm just really curious. I did it one time, but never again. I'm sure somebody's yelling at the screen about like how to do it. Like, just press that button. Press the button. Oh, cool. So I guess this is how we would tint her different colors. Now one of those is like shade or light. Shade shift. Whoa, what did I change? Okay, put it back. Put it back. You know what? Well, think about it some other time. Now she's got color. She's got her stuff on. And she's got her texture. And I thought her hair would be blonde, but I guess they changed it. Like, it's... They did, like, Sorry, I'm trying to rush in there and try to change the color. I guess they did this so that you can change the colors, or maybe there's a script. Because the materials for this, they actually have, like, they have the colors. I don't know how to explain it. The colors are scripts, so I guess that's what it's supposed to do. So it's all white in there. Like with Street Fighter 4, they had the colors already on there, but I guess they decided not to do that with this Street Fighter. Alright, well anyway, we got our character, we got her hair. She's got textures. Sorta. Oh wait, then this guy. Actually, I think I'm gonna try be lazy and try it the other way. Okay, so she's got textures, she's got color. She doesn't have eyes because I don't know. I think eyes are scripted in or some texture, but I looked in here and I couldn't find them. So she's got eyes, she's got boots, she's got color, she's got flair, she was there, and that's how she became the nanny. So we're going to press A a couple times to select it all, and I'm going to press Control J to join everything back together. So we have our elbow. These are all still Second Life stuff. So now we're going to select it and turn this into a VRM file. So select the bones, and then open up the Second Life to VRM tab. I'm going to close all these other tabs just so I can get down to the tab I did not install. Okay, hang on, let me install that tab. I'm like, when you guys install it all, I don't have to. But then I think I might have uninstalled it by mistake. Alright, so I'm going to go here, here, so you guys are in the same one. Put inside Blender. See how organized that is? And then number 2. And I'm going to check this box. Uncheck that box. Yep, okay. So close this. Okay. So this is what you should have here. This little thing that says SL to VRM. And you're just going to check the first button right here that says Convert Second Life Skeleton to VRM. And when we press that button, and wait for it to stop being blue, it is now done. It should say right at the bottom how many bones have updated. And the number varies depending on how you mapped out your skeleton. Okay, so... Oh dear, you see how I moved it and it didn't go? We can fix that. Just press this button at the bottom that says refresh armature to modifier. So now when we move it, you can see she moves. And now she doesn't have Second Life named bones, she has a set of VRM bones. So we get to the fun part, exporting. So I want to go to object mode, and I want to go and try to export it out. Now I have a couple of errors that are going to pop up, but I'm doing this so I can show you what to do in case you run into this. So let's press A and select all of our Cami and have it selected, and we're going to go to File, Export, and then VRM, and then boom, we got hit with a whole bunch of errors. Oh no. So what is this errors telling us? So like, first, don't panic. Let's look at the errors and see what it's saying. VRM required bones are missing, are not signed. Only one armature is required. It's got a problem with the ring finger. And, okay, so we need to fix this. So first things first, let's see what it was talking about when it said there's more than one armature in the workspace. Now, I know when you're looking at it, it looks like, hey, there's only one armature. What are you talking about? Well, technically, there are two armatures. If you go over to the right side of your screen and look at our outliner over here, you'll see that there's two skeletons in the works here. One is the retarget proxy that we use to transfer the animations here, and that is being counted as it. Now, real quick, I just want to see if we check the eye and hide it, would that still count as the error? Because I usually just delete those, but sometimes you kind of sort of need to have multiple skeletons in here. You only can export one at the scene. So, let me see real quick. So, export VRM. Yeah, okay. So, you can either right-click on the extra skeleton here, and then you can press delete if it's of no consequence. But if you are doing like I did in my previous tutorial, and you're sliding clothes onto a skeleton, and you need that rig data, all you have to do is just check the eye. So, it's not showing, like, you know, it's not registering as being seen. So I'm just going to delete this because I like deleting stuff. Okay, so now that that's deleted, we're going to select Camia again, and we're going to press export, and then VRM again. And now we have a problem. It's saying something about the ring finger. Okay, so let's go over and investigate. So when you go to the VRM tab and the VRM humanoid, it shows you all of the bones that are in your skeleton that were put here inside of the VRM to go. And just as it said, the ring finger is giving us some issues. And let's say if we try to click it, there's no way we can do like ring 1, or it's not giving us the option to do so. So what does that mean? This happens when there's a confliction of relation. Somehow during the conversion, some of the bones fell out of the family and aren't related to the people who they're supposed to be related to. It sounds silly, but it makes sense when you see it. So I'm going to show you how to correct this. So first, let's slide this toolbar over because we don't need it. Next, we're going to go over to the perpetrator that's causing us to turn red, and that's the ring finger. So let's zoom in real tight. Okay. Next, we're going to select the bones. And we're going to press tab and go into edit mode. And as you see, there's a bunch of little chains and stuff that go up and down the fingers and all the other body. These are mappings of relations. So what I mean by relations is, how can I say? Every bone is part of a chain. But you can call these chains like a family. And each member or bone of the family has a hierarchy. There's the mother or the head, and then there's the children bones that follow the mother or are attached to it. For example, the hand bone here is the head of the hand, has control, like is the, honestly, all these little bones are connected to the head of the hand. And the hand is this and that. I'm so sorry, I can't seem to, my brain just fell right out when I was trying to explain this. Alright, let me see if I can do it the way I was told. So there's a thing called bone hierarchy. There's the mother bone, that's the head of the thing, and then the children bone that follow or are attached to the mother bone. So if we were to, for example, move the mother bone, she's in charge. And as she moves, all of her kids move with her. Although her kids can move independently, they're still attached to their mom. So that is what we need to find out what happened. In this instance, the finger bone right here is on its own. It's only attached to its mom. So we need to make sure that it is attached to the other kids so that it can move properly. Because when it comes to hands, these knuckle bones are kind of like little moms, and they're supposed to be able to affect the children. Did that confuse you more? I'm sorry. It's just easier to just show you what we do. So to fix this, we go back into edit mode, right? And you go down here onto your right side and look at the little bone finger here thingy thing. And to make it easier for me, I'm going to select the finger bone, which is the problem, this ring finger 1. And we're going to copy its name. So just double click, click and drag, and select the name, and then press Control C to copy it. Then we're going to select the next bone on the line, which should be connected to that one but ain't. And we're going to scroll down until we see the button, the tab that says Relations. and it's going to ask us who is this parent, and it's not supposed to be the hand, it's supposed to be the bone before it. And we're just going to select it and then press Control V and then select ring 1 from the menu. Now when we move this bone, it should, well, it moves now where it didn't move before. Now don't worry, I'm sure when you do it, it won't be ugly like this. This is just Street Fighter. For some reason, this ring finger is problematic and has really bad weighting. And I don't know if it's a bug in the plugins that I made, or is it just Street Fighter in general, but that happens. And then you got to correct that with weight painting. But we've been over weight painting before, and I don't feel like wasting more time on that already. So, let's pretend. Let's pretend that it's fixed. Yay, it's fixed. Now we're going to try to export it again. Press A, export, and VRM, and you see we don't get any errors, so I'm going to save this on my desktop. Cammy Tut 2. And now, bada bing, she saved, yay. Okie dokie. So now we have that done, let's put her in Unreal. So once you open up your Unreal, you're going to create a new project. I'm using this one. I'm using this one. I don't know, whenever I try to do this, it always takes forever to go. So while we wait for Unreal to go, I'm just going to pause it, give you guys a break, because we went through a lot of stuff. But when I show you the speed through, how fast it actually takes once you do it, you'll be like, wow, so much time saved. Hang on, I'm being invaded by a cat. Beat it, Bayonetta. Sit. I gotta turn up some waiting music. Oh, that's as loud as it goes. I wonder what kind of snack y'all eating while y'all watching this. Is it something that's only local to your location? I could really go for some chips though. I don't have no dip. What's the fun of tortillas when you don't have dip? Okay, so we have projects. I want to make a new game. And do good one, third person, and then that's project 6. So wait for it to create. Sure, it's taking a while. You know, I got this new computer thinking that Unreal was going to go really fast on it. But I guess when you think about my old computer and Win 7 and stuff, this is lightning fast in comparison. Probably should have opened one up beforehand. I just didn't think it would take this long. Is it a roaring inferno where you are? Because it is here. Okay, so we're back. Alright, we're in Unreal. And we need to install our plugin so that we can put our VRM stuff in. Ignore that lie. Okay, so what I like to do is I want to go and create a new folder. First of all, new folder. Oop, shoot, I don't know what I just did. Crap. That is... okay. New folder. There we go. I have no idea what I did or how I got here, but... Oopsie daisy. Okay, that's what looks normal. Alright, okay. So, new folder. And in this new folder, I'm going to right click. And I'm going to... Actually, we need to go to the place where we saved our game at. Because we got to put the folder in, right? So show explorer, and this is my other one. So I'm just going to go here to project 6, which is our tutorial. Now, I made this easy for you if you downloaded it. Where is it? Unreal tutorial. Put inside Unreal, just copy these two folders and paste. Okay, so once we got those two folders inside here, we can minimize that, close this, go back inside Unreal, and you'll see the bone maps opened up, and there should be two folders inside here, two files. Good. But if we try to look at our plugins, which is in settings and then plugins, if we try to type in our VRM plugin, it's not there. So we can't press the new plugin button. That's what they want you to think will make you like, oh, select new plugin. But no, that's to create a new plugin. So once that is done, we have to close our Unreal. Go back to our menu here. Refresh. Open up 6 again. Give it a second. It shouldn't load as long the second time around. Then we go back into settings, plugins, and then we type VRM again. And then we press enable. And yeah, we gotta reset one more time. Okay, now it's in here. And when we have that done, we can bring in our model. Oh, Cammy Toots. I forgot. So what we want to do is wait before you bring your model in. You want to go back and to add import and create a new folder and let this like, oh wait, not in the bones, just the content first. Then new folder, and then we want to put this as Cammy so we know where all her stuff is at. So Cammy is here, and we're going to drag her into there, and then just press import. Don't worry about none of that stuff, just push import. So yay, there we go. Now it's going to take a second or 3 for the models and stuff, all the stuff to load. Sometimes it's because it's the shaders. What you do, you can see we have our character put inside here, and I did not put in. Whoa, she's got a lot of bright lights and stuff on her because I pushed a lot of buttons. Is she glowing? Let's see. Yeah, she's a little glowy. A little orange and yellow because I push buttons. Alright, when y'all doing this, don't push the buttons. I'm right. You know what? For the sake of having the tutorial look decent, I'm going to use the other Cammy that I had. The one that's not trying to do The Simpsons. I was like, yay, I'm so clever. Alright, let me see. I put in a bunch of Cammys. Okay, so that's this Cammy. And as you see, she's not glowing yellow. And if we press the play button, you can actually... Oh. There you go. If you see that, you can see that she's actually not yellow. Alright, but no good having her in here just being all T-posy, right? We need to make her move. Show us your moves, Cammy. Okie dokie. So we want to put in an animation for her to use. We can do the following. We can retarget an animation from any source and make it come in here. Or we can use animations that we already have. I have a few already that we used. I have a BVH file that, I don't know if this is a Second Life one or, this is actually from Street Fighter. This is one that I retargeted and made into a Second Life one. So let's put this in just so you can see what it's like. So we drag the BVH inside here, no problem. And we're going to scan for the skeleton right here. It's tiny, but don't worry about it. That doesn't matter. As you can see, if we look at the animation, it came in just fine. We need to change the skeleton so that we can retarget all of the animations that we need to let this animation to the skeleton for Cammy. So first thing I want to do is I want to go up to the top, where over to the left where it says setup rig, and then where it says select rig, I want to click it and say select humanoid rig. So it says humanoid now. Now automatically it will fill in bones to make it retarget. We don't want these bones that come in automatically. We want to select bones from our bone map. So I want to clear this to make sure that they're gone. And I'm going to press load. Now it's going to be either the anim S cell skelly or the bone mapping for skelly. It's going to be one of those two. If it's the wrong one, you'll see that no bones will go in because it doesn't have any bones to match. So we want to push load and we press the other one and you'll see that it fills in with the proper bone maps. Bone names. And if we go to advanced, if it's got finger bones, it fills it in too. So save you guys the trouble by doing that in advance. Alright, we're almost done this. So to look at the animation, or at least make the animation go, we have to make sure that it is in the same pose as the source. The target, which is an A pose. Like all Unreal stuff is in the A pose. It's not in the T pose. And you cannot leave it in the T pose because that will change how it targets. How it targets. It transfers. It's really important. So the reason it is because let's say you start, let me just try to say why it's important. The reason why this is important is because it all has the same rest pose and tells it where to rotate from there on. If it is in the T pose with its arms straight out and the animation says from the rest pose rotate your arms 90 degrees to the left, if it does that, it's gonna go, how would it, back. But if it's down and it says rotate 90 degrees to the left, it's going to be in a totally different position, which is what you want it to be. So the key for retargeting is to make sure that the rest pose, which is what we're about to establish, is the same on both the source and the target. So how do we do that? Easy. First, you want to see if by luck Unreal did it for you. So you would just press view pose. And it ain't. We got that arm over there. Now I would say that's fine. We could just leave it like this and rotate the arm to make it go down. But as you can see, the fingers are curled in. And we want to make sure that the fingers are straight because they're straight. They're not curved. They're supposed to be straight. That's why. I don't even have an explanation for it. We don't want it. That's all you need to know. Okay, so let's change it. We're going to press this button that says modify pose. Then we're going to go up to the top where it says character. And then scroll down to where it says bones. And you want to make sure that all hierarchy is selected. This will allow you to select all the bones in the skeleton. Otherwise, you'll be left clicking on it like crazy and asking, hey, how do I do this? That's how you do it. So what we want to do is we want to select the shoulder. And it should say like our shoulder or something, just this bone, so we can move the arm down. You don't want to move the clavicle. You want to move the arms. And we're going to move it. Now this is debatable. It can be either 30% or 30 degrees or 40 degrees. I like 40. I heard some people go with 30, but 40's been working out for me. So 40 here and go over to here. And it's going to be just say negative. So negative 40. And that's it. Don't even worry about the legs. The legs are fine in that straight pose. Unless your legs are spread apart, then you want to make them close. But this is good. So once we got it down into our new A pose, we're going to press modify pose and then use current pose and then hit save. Now we're going to close it And now it's set. So let's give Cammy that move that we just had. So we're gonna go find it. So it's like this green, light green is animation. So we're gonna right click on that and then choose retarget animation assets or retarget anim assets. Then duplicate anim assets and retarget. And you can see for this it has Cammy. That's where we want to source it to. And we press retarget. So we can double click it and you can see that she can do the animation now. But the problem is she's kind of sort of allotted in the floor. So we can actually fix this. So let's correct this. First, press pause at the bottom of the screen. And we're going to press the rewind and send it all the way to the front. So once we're on the front, we're going to go over to our skeleton tree. And sometimes it may not be there. It may say asset details selected. Select skeleton tree. And you want to press the very first thing at the top where it says root. So now we have a module here to select. We're going to change it from rotation to translate. And that will give us this little arrows here to work with. Now sometimes your arrows they're supposed to be like this, straight up and down. But sometimes they may not be that way and they may be kind of crooked or sideways. You can correct that by pressing this button right here. It's a little cube in the middle and it turns from local to global. And that usually switches that and fixes it. So right now she's in the ground. We're just going to pull her up a bit. I'm actually going to scroll along the timeline and see where she stopped being in the ground. See what I meant by I'm new here? There we go. Okay, so I want to global. That's what I want. So we have this here. And I want to press this little button that says key and apply it so she stays. And then we scroll forward to see if she needs a little help now and then. So just pull her up. Key. And we can keep lifting her. Or if you want, you can choose to rotate. And you can rotate her up a little bit. You can rotate the bones and everything that way. There's a snap value. Yeah, I never understood what a snap value was. Okay, so you can actually select her other bones too to try to lift them up to make it work. And when it's done, you press key. Ooh, she all the way down there. I wonder if can we use the root and just rotate her up. And that's her hair. It can't be helped. You don't have to, like in most cases, they're just in the ground and you can just pull them up on the first frame and then hit key and apply. This is a complex one that I'm just going all out so I can show you what you would do if you wanted to edit the animation instead of going back into Blender or whatever and trying to animate it, trying to make it work there. This is a lot easier to do. Bone selection's a little weird though, so pull her feet up. Key. How is that supposed to end? Is she supposed to stand at the end of that? I think she is. Well, she ain't. She is now. There we go. So you see we did all that editing and stuff. Real simple. And then once we're done, we just hit apply. So now we're done with that. So now we have Cammy. We throw her animation in there. Press play. Click on the screen. There you go. Neat, huh? So yeah, now you can do that with any animation. But there's quite a process to prepare an animation. Woohoo, work! Okay, that's pretty cool. But that's only because we have an animation set. There's quite a process of converting an animation and making it ready to be in here. But that's going to have to be in a part 2 because I'm looking at the clock and it's just usually around the time when my husband calls me while he's on break. So I don't want to stop the tutorial to try to talk to him and leave you guys hanging. So take in this tutorial and I'll be right back with another one to show you how we prepare animations to use them like we just did in this tutorial. So see you guys in the next video. And I hope this is helping you out. Oh, and don't ask me how to make the characters do this, because I don't know. You know, how to make the characters do the animation, like the pawn, the main pawn. I still need help with that one. Alrighty, see you guys later. In the next time. Well, the next one.